houses. You've heard the rumors, haven't you? The whispers about this little bottle. Let me tell you, it's not just a potion. It's an experience, a journey, a love potion they call it, though I prefer to think of it as a bridge between hearts. You see, love, real love, it's complicated, it's messy, but with a little help from this, it can be uncomplicated. This potion is a blend of ingredients so rare, so carefully crafted, that it's almost a miracle. A drop, just a single drop, is all you need to change everything. Have you ever looked at someone, felt that tug deep in your chest, and just known that they were meant to be yours, but somehow they don't see you the way you see them? This is where the potion comes in. It unlocks the hidden door inside their heart, the one they didn't know was there, or perhaps the one they've locked away. It works like this. The potion taps into your subconscious, awakens their desires. It taps into their subconscious, awakens their desires, their needs, their fears. It whispers to them just a bit, so that your presence suddenly becomes something they can't ignore. It makes them feel seen, heard, wanted. It's not magic per se. It's more like a little nudge. A nudge that says, hey, maybe this person has been here all along, and I've just been too blind to notice. And trust me, once they feel it, they'll never forget you. The potion doesn't force them to love you. No, that would be cruel. Love, true love, should never be forced. But it gives them the opportunity to choose you. With this, their defenses drop, just enough for them to feel that spark, that instant connection that's been there all along. It's like waking up from a dream and realizing you've been asleep for far too long. But let me warn you, this isn't something to be taken lightly. Oh, I can hear you thinking, a little love potion never hurt anyone, right? But trust me, you want to be careful. You have to be sure, and I mean sure, that the person you're giving it to is the right one. If they're not, well, things can get tricky. It's like stepping onto a dance floor without knowing the rhythm. If they aren't ready for what you're about to offer, the results can be unpredictable. Oh, don't look at me like that. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to help. I've seen it before. I've seen people fall head over heels, yes, but I've also seen them get tangled in something they didn't bargain for. That feeling, it's not just theirs anymore. It becomes a bond, a tie that can't be undone so easily. And you're going to feel it too. That kind of connection doesn't fade. Not ever. I know you've heard the stories. Customer reviews are everywhere, aren't they? Some say it's like a dream come true. Quoted as saying, I gave it to him, and he looked at me like I was the only person in the world. Or, quoted as saying, she kissed me as if she knew me forever, as if we were always meant to be. I've heard it all. Some say it works so well they're floating on air for days. The world just looks brighter, more possible when they're in the arms of the one they want. And then, of course, there's the flip side. The ones who gave it to someone who wasn't ready. They say, quote, I can't get them to stop calling. I thought they'd left me, but now I can't shake them off. Or, I thought it would bring us closer, but now it's like I can't breathe around them. But hey, don't just take my word for it. Let the reviews speak for themselves. The satisfied customers are happy to share their stories. Some of them are even overjoyed at the way it works. But like I said, there's always a prize for what you ask the universe to give. You see, love is a delicate thing. It can't be manufactured. It can't be forced. And you have to be certain you know exactly what you're doing. I know. You're thinking, I just want them to notice me, to love me the way I love them. But here's the thing. When you're giving someone this kind of potion, you're changing their destiny. And in the process, you're changing yours too. It could lead to a whirlwind romance that sweeps you off your feet, or it could open a door to something more complicated. Maybe you get exactly what you want, maybe you don't. And the longer you wait, the more you risk the kind of heartbreak that this potion can't fix. That's the thing no one tells you. What happens when you're not ready for love yourself? What if you get them, but you can't keep them? What if you're not what they need after all? You have to be careful. You have to know what you're walking into. So, you see, it's not just about the potion. It's about you. What do you want from this? Are you ready for the consequences? Good or bad? Because once you make that choice, there's no going back. And the person you give it to, they'll never see you the same way again. They'll see you as the one who made them feel seen and loved. Well, love is a way of sticking around, even when you're not sure you want it to. But if you're ready, if you're certain this is what you need, then by all means take it. Take it, and may it lead you exactly where your heart desires. But remember, sometimes the heart doesn't always know what it wants until it's too late. And that, my dear, is the beauty and the danger of love. You know, I've had customers who, how should I put it, got ahead of themselves, thinking the potion would just be a shortcut to an ideal, perfect romance. They thought they'd drink it and suddenly the world would open up, and they'd have this fairy tale with a happily ever after. But that's where it gets tricky. Love, real love, isn't some simple solution to everything you want. This potion doesn't guarantee everything will work out perfectly. I can promise you it will shift things in your favor. It will open hearts, yes, but it can also reveal truths that might not be so easy to swallow. You might find that once the other person falls for you, they fall hard. But then you have to ask yourself, are they falling because they want you? Or are they falling because they were gently nudged? There's a difference, you know. And you don't want to be caught in a situation where you're questioning if the feelings are truly theirs. What happens when you both realize that the connection might not be as deep as it seems? That can lead to guilt, confusion, even regret. I'm sure that's not what you're after. What if, after the potion works, you realize you forced something that wasn't meant to be? Sometimes we're not ready to face the truth about ourselves. That's what love's not real. It'll eventually wither. No amount of potion can make it last forever if the foundation's not solid. But on the flip side, for those who use it wisely, yes, those are the stories that stick with me. The ones who give the potion to someone they've been friends with for years, someone they trust. Suddenly, they see each other in a new light. It's like flipping a switch. They look at each other, and there's no going back. It's beautiful, really. Like watching a flower bloom after being stuck in the dark. The potion pulls out the potential that was always there, but buried deep beneath the surface. And that's magic. That's when the real, honest love starts to grow. Here's the thing. You want to be sure that the person you're giving this to, they must be someone who's ready for change. Someone who might be just as lost as you are, but too afraid to admit it. That's when the potion can work its wonders. That's when love can feel like the perfect piece falling into place. But if they're not ready for it, if they're happy with where they are, or if they're in love with someone else, or worse yet, if they're just looking for something that isn't you, well then, you've got a problem. This potion doesn't make them change who they are. It just makes them more aware of who they can be with you. And if they're not open to that idea, it's like trying to start a fire with wet wood. You'll struggle, and it'll leave you frustrated. I've had some people come back to me months later, after the potion worked wonders. They were over the moon, glowing with happiness, claiming they'd never felt more alive in their lives. But then, there are the others. The ones who gave it to someone and suddenly they were in a whirlwind romance that they couldn't control. Too intense, too fast. They were trapped in something they couldn't escape. They wanted the connection, the love, but maybe they weren't ready for it. The potion did what it was supposed to, but they didn't know how to handle the storm it created. There's this one woman, a lovely lady. She came to me last summer, bought the potion to give to her crush. She told me they'd been friends for years, and that she couldn't stand it anymore. She had to do something, or she'd lose him. So she used it. A single drop. And do you know what happened? Oh, it was beautiful. He fell for her, completely and utterly. He even moved in with her. But there was a cost. You see, as soon as he fell in love, he fell too hard. He couldn't get her out of his mind. It was suffocating. She couldn't breathe. She started pulling away. And to this day, she still can't get away. They fall for you, and sometimes they never get back up. And that's something you have to be wary of. I'm not telling you this to scare you, but it's important to understand. It's not just about having the person. It's about keeping them and knowing that you want them. The potion, it doesn't just make them love you. It alters the way they see you. It alters the way they see the world. And sometimes it's a lot to handle. If they're not ready, or if they've never been in love before, or you never have, it can feel like a flood. Something so overwhelming that you can't swim. But the ones who are ready, the ones who are already open to what's possible between you two, well, they'll thank you forever. And that kind of love, the kind you build together after the potion has shown them the way, that's something rare. That's the kind of love that lasts. lasts. So, I suppose it's up to you now. Do you think the person you're after is ready? Are they the one who will embrace what you've got to offer? You don't want to risk it if there's any doubt in your heart. But if you're sure, if you know this is the right path, then by all means take a bottle and see where the journey leads. And don't worry, dear. If you ever need more, I'm always here. We all need a little help finding love sometimes. Just make sure it's the right kind of help, and everything will be just fine. And make sure that who you choose is the one you want. Because once you choose, there's no going back. Even if you don't want them anymore, they'll still want you. Be very, very careful. Love is a very dangerous game. But if you want to play, just take a little of this.